Good evening, children. Today we are going to solve some problems. Is there any change in the hybridization of boron and nitrogen atom as a result of the following reaction? This is the question. Now we have to write the molecule and the formula. Next step is hybridization. So the question is, yes, the BF3 and the NH3 coordinate bond, they form coordinate bond to form this structure. In this structure, hybridization change or not? This is the question they are asking. BF3, NH3 and F3B, NH3. Formula hybridization H is equal to, formula is half into B plus M plus A minus C. Already we have discussed this formula. So half into valence electron 3, boron atomic number 5, 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. So valence electron equal to 3. So 3 plus how many surrounding atom? 3. Anion nagi, cation nagi. No. So the hybridization is equal to 3. So sp2 hybridization. We already discussed how that 2 means sp, 3 means sp2, 4 means sp3, like that it will come. Ammonia half into how many valence electron in nitrogen? Nitrogen atomic number 7. 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, 3. This is the valence electron of nitrogen. So 5. How many? 2 plus 3, 5. Plus how many surrounding atom? 3. No cation, no anion. Therefore, it is 4. So 8 by 2 is equal to 4. Therefore, it is sp3 hybridization. Okay. Now F3B, in F3B, NS3, we can take boron and nitrogen atoms. Half into how many? Nitrogen having 5 electrons, boron having 3 electrons. Remaining 0 plus 0 is equal to 4. Therefore, sp3 hybridization. This is the answer for this question. This will form coordinate bond. F3B, NS3, lone pair of electrons. So the bond is going towards F3B. BF3 is a Lewis acid. Lewis acid is the one which is accepting the electron. Ammonia is a Lewis base. Lewis base is the one which donates the electron. These 2 electrons are donated to this. This type of bonding are called coordinate bond. Coordinate bonding. So this is electron donor. Ammonia is electron donor. Electron pair donor. Electron pair donor. This is electron pair acceptor. Electron pair acceptor. So this is the answer for this question. From that we got to infer there is some change in hybridization. BF3 and this 3 will be different. And these 2 are same. That is the thing. We use this formula, hybridization formula, apply to BF3 ammonia, F3B ammonia molecule. F3 ammonia molecule is a coordinate bonding between them. Coordinated bonding is nothing but one will be donating electron pair, other molecule will accepting the electron pair. The electron pair donor is called Lewis base and the electron pair acceptor is called Lewis acid. This type of bonding is called coordinate bonding. I am going to talk. Next question, write the significance of plus and minus sign in representing the orbitals. See, while writing the orbitals, this is Pz, plus and minus, and like this Px, plus and minus. This is Py, plus and minus. They are asking what is the significance of this. This is just the plus and minus sign. Plus and minus sign is wave function. And it determines their symmetry. And it is not have any, and it has not any electrical charge like positive or negative charge. So this is the answer for this question. What is the significance of plus and minus? Plus and minus signs are nothing but wave function which determines their symmetry. P, that P, this is sigma bond. This leads to sigma bond. These two leads to pi bond. Pi bond. So these are the terms. Plus and minus simply refers the wave function. What is the wave function? This is crust is plus and the minus. Crust, trough. So electrons moving like the waves. Crust is positive sign and the trough is negative sign. Like that it will move. This is just a wave function which has no meaning of electrical charge. Okay, we can write it in the orbital like this. This is the exact answer for this question. Question, what is meant by bond order? It's a very important question. It is based on molecular orbital theorem, which tells about a bond order is defined as the half of the difference between the number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbital and the number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Let us take bond order. Bond order is equal to half into Nb minus Na, where Nb is equal to number of electrons in the bonding molecular orbital, and Na is equal to number of electrons in the anti-bonding molecular orbital. Bonding molecular orbital is always having lower energy and anti-bonding molecular orbital have higher energy. So if electron is removed means the anti-bonding molecular orbital only gives its electron. Okay, next I am going to tell about the third question. Next question, fourth question. Question is, arrange the bond in order of increasing ionic character in the molecules. Okay, the one important thing we have to learn here, greater the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms, greater will be its ionic character. That is the thing we have to do. See that the sulfur and oxygen are the same 16th group element, similar electronegativities. N2 similar electron, K2O, this have different. K2O have electronegativity is different. All this high electronegativity. Potassium have electropositive element, and chlorine, fluorine, this also similar electronegativity. Fluorine is higher than chlorine. Okay, here let us see lithium and fluorine. Lithium is the smallest atom, so the electronegativity starts from like this. Starts from N2 greater than SO2 greater than ClF3 greater than K2O greater than LiF. Because lithium fluoride is the very smallest atom. It has the highest electronegativity. Lithium is a metal. Therefore, the electronegativity difference between lithium and fluorine is very high. So, this is the ionic character. Increasing order of ionic character, right? So now we have one more question, important one more question. It's very important one more question. Not only this, in examination they make you different things. So one thing we have to keep it in mind is greater the electronegativity difference between the two bonded atoms, greater will be the ionic character. Hello children, although both carbon dioxide and water are triatomic molecule, the shape of water molecule is bent while that of carbon dioxide is linear. Explain this base. This is based on the dipole moment. With the help of dipole moment. What do you mean by dipole moment? Dipole moment is equal to Q into D. What is Q? Q is nothing but charge. Charge between the two atoms. What is the distance between the internuclear distance between the two atoms? The unit of dipole moment is d by. Now we are going to explain this concept with the help of dipole moment. Okay, triatomic molecule, triatomic molecule. dipole moment, dipole shape of molecule, shape of molecule. First triatomic molecule, first one is carbon dioxide, second one is water molecule. This is triatomic molecule. Dipole moment of carbon dioxide mu is equal to 0. Dipole moment of water is 1.85 dB. Shape of carbon dioxide is linear shape. Linear shape. Bond angle 180 degree. Right. Then oxygen water molecule is, and the direction of dipole is like this. Carbon is less electronegative than oxygen, so the dipole moment moves from the less electronegative to more electronegative. Here dipole moment starts from oxygen to hydrogen to oxygen, because hydrogen is less electronegative than oxygen. Bend shape, bond angle 104 degree 5 minutes. So this is the structure given. Now I am going to explain the dipole moment of carbon dioxide is 0. Why? Because the carbon oxygen bond moment, carbon oxygen bond moment is equal here. Carbon oxygen bond movement, this and this are equal, but in opposite direction, so they cancel each other. So whatever the value you are getting from this carbon and this oxygen, that was cancelled by the value of this carbon and the oxygen. So therefore mu is equal to 0 in this category. Next, for water molecule, the dipole moment is 1.85 dB. It is bend shaped. When looking in this diagram, the dipole moment are moving in the same direction from hydrogen to oxygen, and the lone pair also moving the same direction. Therefore, the net dipole moment is like this. Here the net dipole moment is like this, cancelling each other. Here it is positive, moving in the same direction. Resultant dipole moment is equal to vector sum of all the bond movements of hydrogen and oxygen. This is given. Okay. The orbital dipole is due to lone pair effect, and the resultant dipole is due to bond pair effect. The total net dipole moment is equal to sum of the orbital dipole moment and the resultant dipole moment. Okay, that will give 1.85 dB. So that is the thing I am explained here. Net dipole moment is equal to, in water, H2O water, net dipole moment is equal to orbital dipole moment due to lone pair. Orbital dipole moment due to lone pair plus resultant dipole moment due to bond pair. So the sum of these two gives 1.85 dB. So all are moving in same direction. So net dipole moment is nothing but vector sum of the orbital dipole moment and the resultant dipole moment. This is the answer for this question. Now we are going to move the next question. Resonance structure of CO3 2- carbon double bond oxygen, single bond oxygen, single bond oxygen. So in formal charge we already discussed all those things, so no need to explain. We have to just draw the resonance structure. Next structure is like this. Here, all this resonance structure, the double bond having less bond length compared to the single bond. So theoretically, it is a drawback. So to solve this, you get a structure of like this. All the three molecules having partial double bond character, because the double bond resonance structure, electron shifting here and there in the all the four atoms. So you get a partial double bond character like this. So this is the final structure of the resonance. So here the bond length, now the bond length will be equal. Bond length will be equal for all structures. Okay. So this is the possible resonance structure. From the resonance structure, finalized structure is this one. Okay. Next question. So the next question is, explain the difference between ionic and covalent bond. In 10th standard itself, we learned about what is ionic bond, what is covalent bond. Ionic bond is due to the transfer of electron between the electropositive element to electronegative element. That is donation of electron. That is called ionic bond. Ionic bond is stronger bond. Ionic compounds are made up of solids. Ionic compounds are mainly solids. Covalent compounds, here ionic, here covalent. Covalent compounds are solid, liquid and gas. Generally, the ionic compounds are made up of ions. They are made up of ions which held together, which attracted together by strong electrostatic force of attraction. Electrostatic forces of attraction, right? They are molecules held together by weak van der Waals force. Covalent compounds are held together. For example, in graphite molecule, one layer is held together by another layer in weak van der Waals force. We learned in 10th standard. One layer is attracted towards other layer by weak van der Waals force, frictional force. They are held together by weak van der Waals force. They have high melting point. And boiling point. They have low melting point and boiling point. They are soluble in water. They are soluble in polar solvents like water, and insoluble in insoluble in non-polar solvent like benzene, ether, etc. Carbon tetrachloride. Here they are soluble in non-polar solvent like benzene, non-polar solvent like, because why they are covalent compounds purely made up of organic compound, carbon made up of compounds. So they themselves non-polar in nature. They will not donate electron. They will share their electrons. So they dissolve only in organic solvent. They are soluble in non-polar solvent and insoluble in water. Here ionic compounds, let us take sodium chloride. I will put it in water. It is separated as a sodium and chloride ion. The bond will be break. Bond dissociation energy is less in the case of sodium chloride with the help of water molecule, it can easily break and it will separate, dissolve quickly. So ionic compounds easily react with water molecule because they transfer electrons. Okay, then the next point, ionic compound at in molten state, ionic covalent, in molten state they conduct electricity because in molten state they release their electron carry the current charge, so they conduct electricity. Electrons are nothing but carriers of current, so molten state they conduct electricity because they have free electrons. Metals have free electrons. Ionic compounds have free electrons to donate. These free electrons carry the current, so the metals can conduct electricity. So I will heat the one part of iron rod. At a second, the heat travels through the electrons and reaches the other end. So it is a good conductor of electricity. But in the case of covalent compound, it is an insulator. It is an insulator. Except graphite. Graphite is a very good conductor of electricity because it contains only one free electron. So that free electron carry the current. So except graphite, all are insulators. They conduct heat. They do not conduct heat. Like how the ionic compound conduct electricity, like that it also conduct heat. Ionic compound undergo very fast reaction. Burning a cracker is an example of very fast reaction. Conversion of the barium chloride mixed with sodium hydroxide, it will give white precipitate. Sodium sulfate, barium chloride and sodium sulfate react with will give barium sulfate and sodium chloride displacement reaction. During that reaction, white precipitate form. This is a sudden reaction. This type of reaction are called instantaneous reaction. This type of reaction taking place in ionic compound. Very fast reaction taking place. Reactions taking place in ionic compounds. Here slow reaction taking place. Slow reactions only taking place in covalent compounds. Ionic compounds are non-directional. Ionic compounds are non-directional in nature, so it does not form any isomerism. But covalent compounds are directional, so they will form isomerism. What do you mean by isomerism? We learned in 10th standard. Isomerism means it has same molecular formula but different structural arrangement. It is divided into chain isomerism, functional isomerism, metamerism, then position isomerism, like that. So we will discuss the isomerism in organic chemistry part. So covalent compound only gives isomerism because that are not made up of carbon, organic compound, and their bond is directional, so it can easily form isomerism. But ionic compounds are non-directional, so it will not form any isomerism. Thank you children, have a nice day, God bless you.